Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this beautiful place we call home. My name's Harvey Lynch, and along with me this afternoon is Katie Hurst. How are you today, Katie?
I'm good, Harvey. How are you going? That music never ceases to make me smile.
Oh, it's a fantastic tune, isn't it? I love it.
I love it.
Folks,
I love it.
welcome along this evening, Virtual Office Connect Tuesday Live, the place where we get more time, less hassle, and greater profits as small business owners. And tonight's show, I'm really excited to bring this to you because whilst we are all about virtual reception, virtual assistance, and virtual business support for small business owners, tonight's going to be about how to get your phone ringing off the hook. So every week we bring you tips, techniques, and strategies on how to help your business improve by getting more time in your day, getting less stress, and getting more profits in your business. And today is one of, I think, arguably the most important skill that any business owner can possess, and that is how to get your phone ringing a lot more. Sales and marketing we're talking about, folks, and diving deep in on lead generation tonight. Now, tonight's show is exclusive. We're broadcasting live to our private group members. So if you're in the group, say g'day, give us a shout out and put a comment in tonight because I'd love to make this interactive. And if you've got questions around your lead generation or how to get your phone ringing a lot more for your business, then we'd love to hear about it and have a discussion around it. So be sure to sing out. Katie, you've been on the phones again this week.
I have indeed. I'm actually getting into the groove. I really like it. Yeah, it's good. It's really, really good. And it's great because I get to meet the clients. So that part is fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm not sure Louise would agree that I'm the best receptionist, but I am learning. I promise her I'm learning.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, well, I'm glad it's you and not me, Katie, because I'd rather be on the phone doing something else, and that is, talking to clients, talking about what we're talking about tonight with new inquiries coming in. So, that'd be me. So last week we came off. Before we get started, guys, you're in the private group, and if you haven't checked out the free trial that's exclusive to our group members as yet, and that is a 30-day free trial of our virtual reception services. It is worth your while jumping on and checking that out further, even just having a phone call with us to see if and how a virtual receptionist may be able to help your business in getting you back more time, less stress in your business, and more dollars on your bottom line profitability, because that's what it's all about, isn't it, Katie?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And it's just called smart business. Using the service, honestly, is just smart business.
Yeah, absolutely. So last week we spoke about, we come off that virtual receptionist cost last week, and those that tuned in had time to think about the pros and cons of going in-house with their virtual reception work as opposed to outsourcing. The opportunity cost really is the main important factor. And tonight is all about how to build on that gap, right? Make sure that the leads and inquiries are coming in are really going to make your choice in getting that outsourcing a better decision, because it's actually allowing your business to actually capture those leads now rather than missing out on them. Quite often, a lot of times when inbound calls come out, there's new inquiries in amongst all those calls. Calls such as, it could be just customer service, or it could be, just general inquiries about certain things. But a lot of the times they are leads that are coming in. So tonight's discussion is all around capturing all those leads and getting more of those leads, if that's something that you could do with right now. And we're going to talk about what makes up a good lead generation system. because leads, having a cost-effective, reliable, affordable, predictable lead generation system in your business is really going to set you on your way to greater profits. And if we can do that by using our phone, even better. So what I want to do, Katie, is just jump right in to talk about what makes up a good lead generation system. But I think before I do, actually, so business owners busy, right? And there's a lot of things going on. You know, a lot of business owners are busy doing the thing that it is that they do, right? It could be swinging a spanner. It could be up on a roof, or in a headline. So everyone's doing what they do. And as far as marketing and sales, I think all business owners need to know a foundation around marketing and sales and what it's actually all about. And really, where is the money made in my business? I know from my experience over the years in businesses, it's not necessarily in the thing that you do, which is the actual doing of work. If you sat back and have a look at everything I do, right, in my business, when I started, so I had a pretty good skill, and that is actually doing the work. But where do we actually make the money? Where does the money lie? And when you look at most businesses, the money is actually made on the front end in marketing, right? Then you go about doing the work. Because if we don't master that, then we'll be sitting in amongst a red ocean of all of our competitors saying, pick me, to which, we may get the leader there, but it's we will forever, wonder, won't we? So that's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying you need to go out and absolutely master the skill of marketing and sales, more to the point of getting a really good understanding on what it takes to create a lead generation system, the parts of it, and then say for yourself, well, hey, do I have an affinity for this? Does this come easy to me? Can I find that I can master this very quickly? Or am I better off spending my time elsewhere in the business that is, and that area of sales and marketing is better delegated out to someone else? So that's up for you to decide on that. So what I'd like to do today is just to show you that foundation, the actual strategy behind it, nothing to do with the minutiae of it all. Sort of discussion, but the actual nuts and bolts generation today is really, really important. Katie, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm glad that I have not missed this lesson. Quite literally, like I'm just thinking, if I was thinking about 20 years ago when I first started in business, everything was referrals based. With the speed of the economy and the way that things have changed, even I've had to come to terms with the fact that learning about lead generation, funnels, sales, how your website should present, and then how to actually onboard those clients too, I might add, is something that I'm still learning, but I can see that it's massively, massively important to know, because like I say to you all the time, Harvey, sales and marketing is like the oxygen of your business, and really finances and administration is like the backbone. But you can't have one without the other. But you definitely need to get across this. So I'm glad that I'm online. I'm going to learn. I'm learning from you. It's great.
Yeah, no problems. So, and ladies and gents, if you hang around to the end, we've actually got a really, really good little value for you, because if you're interested in getting more leads coming into your business and getting the phone ringing more for your product or your service, and actually one of our business partners, we've got a really good deal going with them as far as a 7-day speed lead challenge, where we can actually take a look at your current marketing and get things underway to ramp that lead generation up and get that phone ringing a lot more for you. So hang around to the end, and that'll be a matter of just putting in the comments whether or not you're interested. So we'll leave that on up to you, but stick around to the end. So let's get into it. I'm just going to quickly pop up on the screen a presentation, a slideshow, PowerPoint, death by PowerPoint. I hope not. So lead generation. So the easiest way to break down a lead generation system is to break it down into steps that are easy to look to be able to identify, put into action, and then manage each one of those steps. And to make it really, really simple for you this evening on the whole idea of a lead generation strategy is to do exactly that, 3 steps. However, we're only going to talk about the first step tonight. So 3 steps in a lead generation system is obviously, first and foremost, we have to get attention in our marketplace. I mean, you think about it. You've got you're in an industry. Let's just pick one, right? Let's just pick the roofing industry, for example. Although the roofers are doing all quite well at the moment. Actually, all trades are doing quite well at the moment. But you've got a lot of competitors, and you're in a marketplace that is saturated of competition, trying to outcompete each other for the business. So how do you get attention in that noisy marketplace? That's the first aim we've got to do. And I'm not talking about getting attention as in using a big ego here either, guys. I'm talking about getting the attention of those that have the need or the want for your product or service. Now, I'm going to show you some examples in a little bit later of how to go about doing that, getting attention with your advertising. The second step is that when we do get attention, our second step is, well, okay, how do we capture the information here so then we can actually keep in touch with these people that are perhaps interested in the product or service? We need to capture information, capture data. A couple of weeks ago, we had a discussion around CRMs, customer relationship management systems, and that's the big part of capturing this information of those that are out there in the marketplace that could perhaps want to do business today or do business in 12 months' time. We've got to be able to make sure that we're there when they're ready to pull the trigger. And the third step and final step is follow-up. Now, you may have heard this before. It's a well-known term in the marketing industry, but the money is in the follow-up, right? So now that we've got their attention, we've actually captured their information, so now we can keep in touch with them by follow-up. Now, I don't mean by becoming a pest and ringing every 5 minutes. It's a system that is put in play, whether it's automated or it's manually done, but we follow up on a certain basis to make sure that we're answering questions, we're delivering value, and when it comes time for them to make a decision, a buying decision that is, that we're there at the front of the line, ready to go when they are. So, Katie, 3 steps, quite simple. Oh, hang on. I can't hear you, Katie. Am I muted or are you muted?
I muted myself. Yeah. I muted myself because the dogs are on guard. Look, I think seemingly they seem simple enough, right? So get attention, and I guess most websites probably draw that attention. Or if you're up on the top of the Google rankings or you're paying for that type of advertising, then you get attention. But I would say the follow-up part is probably, yes, fortune is in the follow-up, but I think that would probably be the hardest thing for me to follow through with is the follow-up. But also I think a lot of the businesses that we deal with as well is the hard thing for them as well, because once you've got those leads coming in, how do you maintain the correspondence for those leads and that interaction with the potential client to actually maximize on that business relationship? And I think that's something that I see all the time in other businesses and in ours as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Katie, you mentioned my mic is a bit crackly. Is it better now?
Yeah, that's better now, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so you're right. Misinterpreted. Fortune is in the follow-up. And, highly, highly important point. So when in the marketing space, now I'm going to try to make this easy for everyone to understand because marketing lingo is often a little bit hard to comprehend. But the amount of touch points in a follow-up process, believe it or not, is a hell of a lot more than what most people think. I don't have stats with me right now, but so many people give up after the first 1 or 2 touch points with a prospect, with a new inquiry, new lead. And I should have touched on that earlier too, what a lead actually is. So a lead is just a general inquiry that has come in about your product, your service. And most people give up after the second or third try, right? 1, 2, or 3 tries, and then they give up. Whereas most businesses actually made after the 7th, 8th, or 9th touch point, right? Now, you might be thinking right now that, gee, I will be a pest after the 7th, 8th, or 9th touch point. And if you smash out 8 or 9 phone calls in 5 minutes, yeah, you probably will become a pest. But it's not so much the doing of it, it's the how you go about that process, which keeps you in the frame of mind where they can say, hey, you're a good guy, I don't mind chatting with you, right? To keep that in simple terms. So it is a very, very important part of any business lead generation system, is how to follow up with your list of inquiries in the right way, in the right manner, to be able to say, hey, what questions can we answer, and when you're ready to go, we're here with you too. So that's probably the most important part, which we'll get to in another session. But today's all about getting attention, guys. And I want to have a bit of a chat about getting attention, because it's very, very important part. I do hope the sound comes through with that, but
that is gold. I love it.
So it's all about getting attention, right? So what do you got to do to get attention in your marketplace? And it's not so much a matter of sticking your logo or your brand out there and saying, hey, this is what we do, pick us. It's got to be a little bit more than that, because that's pretty much what everyone else does, right? So first of all, when trying to get attention, what I want to explain to you tonight is a few mistakes that quite often happen, which a lot of business owners fall into the trap of up front, because they see what other people do, so they do what other people do, and they run into these traps. And the first mistake is, first of all, not doing your research, right? So I'm going to explain a little bit about research just in a moment, but not doing your research up front on your market, what they're actually after, what they their hopes, their fears, their needs and desires. We need to do a bit of research up front to say, well, what is it that's going to get their attention? And the second mistake that business owners often make is trying to make the media do too much. Now, what I mean by media, folks, is there is many different mediums or channels you can go through with your advertising to get attention, to actually draw in and attract your buyers. Now, a lot of it's done online these days. So online mediums, there's your social media mediums. So you've got Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, those types of social media mediums to do advertising with. You've also got other online digital platforms such as Google search and paid search through Google and search engine optimization. All those types of things is online types of ways to get attention. And then also you've got your offline marketing strategies for getting attention through newspaper, direct mail, billboards, and that type of thing. However, one of the common traps that a lot of people fall into is trying to do too much. Now, what I mean by this is actually trying to sell off the page or off the advert itself. Now, here's the thing, and this is what we really must remember with our marketing, is that if we're trying to sell off our advert to our market, well, our market is only going to be very, very small. And here's what I mean by that. There's only really 3%, 3 to 5% maybe, but I'm going to say 3% of any marketplace in any industry, right, that is actually ready to buy today, ready to make a buying decision today, meaning hand you over their money, okay? So when we talk about a 3%, It's pretty small. So you've really got to narrow your marketing in and get it really on point to be able to get the attention of that 3%. Okay, so we'll talk about in a minute about the ways in which we can actually get the attention of a much broader market so that we can actually start bringing in inquiries, and we can actually follow up with those inquiries, at which point they're ready to buy. We're going to be right there ready to go. And the final mistake that you want to avoid is trying to do what everyone else is doing, right? And it's simple as that, making the media do too much, touched on that before, and not doing your research by going in and asking friends how they put their ads together, or looking at way adverts are in the newspaper, just putting a logo, which no one cares about, putting your branding, which no one cares about, right? And just saying, hey, we've got a discount on, come and pick us. Well, you shouldn't really be discounting in the first place, but really no one really cares. And that's being brutally honest, unless you've got a brand name that's, like a McDonald's or something that's really, really well known, and your brand is actually doing your marketing for you. Now, chances are you probably don't have that type of brand with your business at the moment. So by just doing what everyone else does is really not going to cut it for you if you're trying to really grow your business. So I'm going to show you an example now of an advert where they're trying to do a lot of selling off the page here. So this is a Facebook advert, and I'm not having a crack at the koala, the people that have got the advert up there at all. But you can see it's a promo ad, and for an Easter sale, and they're actually having a discount here, right? So they're doing a lot of saying, well, come on down, we've got 15% off our product, and come and buy it today. It's like, lay it on me, whatever they're saying there, right? So first of all, you'll hear me talk about this in other videos. They're discounting their prices, right, to try and make a sale, but they're really wanting you to come in now, right, to buy for this Easter sale. So what I said before about that 3% of the marketplace, you're reaching out, and yes, you might get one or two or a few leads with this type of advertising, right? But if you did it the right way, you could actually get a hell of a lot more inquiries, to which, yes, you will have some ready to buy now, but you'll have a lot of inquiries come in that are probably going to make a purchase at least within the next 12 months, 3 to 12 months as well. So by doing ads like this, you're trying to get people's attention by getting them in today and trying to sell them a product off the page. You're talking to a small portion of the market. Now, don't get confused with like e-commerce website. What I mean by that is people that sell products off a website. It's a little bit different. This is actual advertising we're talking about here, and trying to do all the selling off the ad. Let's break the process up a bit, and let's talk about how can we create a journey, a buying journey from an advert, and from that advert we give them a second step to take where they can gather more information, and then from there we can then follow up with them if they want to know more, because we capture their information off the second step. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now, Katie, is this all making sense?
Yeah, it is actually, and it's a good distinction that you just made, that placing an advert up like this is only going to capture a small percentage of the market, because essentially the focus is on buy now. But I'm keen to hear you talk about the next part, which is the longevity of maintaining that relationship, so that you have so that the potential for the sale is there, but also so that the relationship there for ongoing sales is there, because that's a really great example of the difference between the types of income that you can bring in. I really like that.
Yeah, actually. So let's talk about, okay, so if we're trying to bring in people that are perhaps interested in purchasing a bed or a mattress or whatever they're selling in this ad, what are some ways we can actually capture the attention of a much bigger audience, right? So I did a little bit of research before the show, and I actually found an article stating a bit of or some statistics on a much broader audience. So let's just say, who would be in the market to actually buy a new bed or a new mattress, would you say?
Anyone. Well, no, not anyone. No, not necessarily anyone. I don't think so. Like, I mean, I can want to buy a new mattress, but whether or not I am is a different story, right? Let's say new first home buyers or young people moving out of home.
Yep. Great point. So first home buyers need some new furniture. That's like you're thinking, that's a great way to go about it. So that could be a target market there to first home buyers. And the good thing about first home buyers is that you can actually, I mean, if these guys sell beds, fair chance they sell other home furniture as well, so that they can actually say, hey, well, you need a bed, you might need some cupboards or whatever as well. So that's a really good point. But I'll show you a bit of research I did before the show. And here's a target market that we could actually look at. So I just copied this, the sources down the bottom there. So this is real data. So people that have back problems or ailments with their back and their spine and have issues like that could actually be a big problem with their bedding, right? And the statistics say that 16% of the total population actually have a bed problem. So now we're talking about not 3%, but now we're jumping up into a 16% a marketplace that could be in the need for a new bed sometime soon, right? So that's 4 million Australians. And this is data going from the ABS a couple of years ago, right? And back problems are the least common. Okay, so the overall prevalence of back problems after accounting for differences in age is similar for males and females. So there you go. So all of a sudden, our audience is a lot broader at 16%. So there's a market out there that have back problems. So what's a way we could actually say, hey, if you've got a buggered back and you perhaps, it could be a result of your mattress isn't supporting your back while you sleep. Here's a way we can actually help you there. So actually run out of slides, but what I'm going to do is see if I can draw up something here, Katie, on a way we can actually put together an ad that will capture the attention of someone that may have a back problem and say, hey, look, here's a call to action to come and find out more information. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Pull that off. Let's see if we can do this. So let's have a look here. So here's our ad.
So you're saying overall you want a broader market, yeah?
Yeah, so you can do ads that are targeting the 3%, those that are ready to buy today. But in the you need to be pretty on point and well targeted with your advertising. However, if you're playing a long-term game, which you should be if you're in business to grow your business long-term, then we need to be capturing the big audience that are out there. Because think about it. If how can I do that? So let me just draw something here now. So here's the 3% up the top here. So that's our 3% marketplace there. Yeah. Right? And they're ready to do business today. Well, have a look where the rest of the marketplace is, and where do you think the money is in this marketplace? Is the rest of it down the bottom there? When you agree, right? So what can we do to actually capture a much broader audience with our marketing, make our marketing dollars go further, and actually start getting some of this audience and capturing their information? So here's our ad, right? What if we put together a valuable publication that they could actually download or go to a landing page and actually download for themselves, and we could headline the advert to say, hey, if you've got a back issue, don't buy another bed until you read this, right?
So you're obviously choosing quite specific words.
Yeah. So we want to headline it to say, if you've got a back issue, don't buy a mattress until you read this. That's going to create curiosity, right? If they are ready to buy today, they'll go, well, hang on, we better have a look at this because we might be buying the wrong bed, right? Those that are perhaps thinking about a bed and budgeting to buy in a few months, right? They'll want to have a look at that to say, well, we better do our research here to make sure we're actually going to spend our hard-earned dollars that we're budgeting for here on getting the right mattress, because I don't want to have a bad back for the rest of my life. And with the call to action on our down here, download here, and to get that issue, they've got the call to action on the ad, or if it's a newspaper, it could be to call this number or visit this website, which would be a landing page that will have your publication on it that they can read up about that information, right? But then what you've done now to exchange for that publication, they exchange their information so that you can send it to them. And then that brings us then into step 2, which is the capturing of their information to allow us to go to step 3 and follow up later on. Okay, so the important part is obviously getting the attention by, in this case, using your ad and your headline is very important. Don't buy a mattress until you read this, something along those lines. And that will get the attention of a much broader audience. Remember, we were talking about 16% compared to 3%. The audience size is much larger, and then you can actually capture that information into your database to then you can actually start to follow up and create a follow-up system where you can actually speak to those points about having bad back, and do that over a series of steps to where you're then getting on the phone with them, or then putting an offer to them to say, come into the store, we've got a promo on mattresses for bad backs. So much going to get you a much better result with your marketing, especially making your marketing dollars go further because you're capturing a larger audience with your marketing. But very, very important part of lead generation is to be able to get attention through and get that through a much larger audience, so that you can then go to work and start being, promoting your follow-up system and your offers to be front of mind when they're ready to actually buy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. It takes me, I guess, to another question, which would probably be good for another one, because you often hear in the marketing space where people tell you that you should be niching, that you should go down to the nth degree and find your unique point of difference or what your unique selling position is, right? So if you're saying market to a broader audience, but at the same time they're saying be niched or have a USP, then I think there could be conflict. Like a rookie like me, that would be one of the questions that I have. Like, how do you market to the broader population but still maintain that your business as a business has a unique offering that people would benefit from? So that may be a conversation for another time. But yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying about having that larger advertising pool for sure.
Yeah, and one of the unique parts about that approach is that not at one time throughout, or with the use of an advert like that, or through our discussion, did we actually talk about selling mattresses or selling beds, right? And that's what is going to help in your follow-up system. You're not actually talking about beds or mattresses until, a few steps down the track yet, right? Because we're talking about the problem with the backs here. That's where the pain point is with our audience, right? So our solution, which will become part of our offer, is in that follow-up process, when we're actually starting to talk to them about their pain points, right? And then say, well, how's your bed going? Is, you're waking up with a sore back, because 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 times, a lot of back issues come from uncomfortable positions whilst asleep, and it does actually stem from having the wrong type of bed or wrong type of mattress. So that's the way to speak to an audience, to get attention to an audience, is not so much sell your product, is actually really talk about the actual pain that your audience is going through. And in this case, it was bad backs. And then we can talk about beds and offering a bed solution down the track when we actually decide, hey, you really do need a new bed.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good thing to explain, actually. And I know that I'll probably annoy you during the week with more questions. But it's good because I think in today's, it's really easy to think that you have to go down the digital marketing way, right? Because so much of our communication is online. But then how do you know that marketing is correct for you, or that the messaging that you're getting out is correct? And I think teaching people this and showing people this is actually very important, because business has progressed past just having a website. It's really changed, and it's really about being front and center in terms of talking to your prospective clients. And I think that dynamic too is, that dynamic has changed a lot. So I like that you're teaching this. It's great, Harvey. Thank you.
Yeah. So look, again, at the end of the day, learning all of this stuff there is a lot of minutia to it. And we're not talking about tactics and the nuts and bolts of it today. It's more of a foundation of understanding the differences between what everyone else does and just throwing your logo or your colors out there and say, hey, look, we're here too. No, it's really actually talking to an audience that actually have a real problem. And I mean, back problems are a killer in society. Massive. I mean, I hate it, and it's going to be always there. So if we're actually talking to a problem that an audience actually has, they're more than likely to say, hey, well, hang on a minute, whether they're ready to buy today or in 12 months' time, they'll probably want to know some of that information. So it's a good way to be able to hook into a market that's going to be hungry at some point in time and willing to spend money. So that's the way to get attention in a crowded market, in a noisy marketplace, is speaking to the pain that they're actually experiencing as well. And to do that, it's obviously you've got to do a bit of research first and then lead on from there. So I hope that was a pretty good value today for you folks. And Katie, it sounds like you got a bit out of that. Katie, I'm going to let you take this week's show because I've done a lot of talking lately, and I'm itching to hear some of what you got to talk about.
I always like listening to him, like, oh yeah. And it's so on point, because it's like, how do I market the financial literacy programs that I teach? And it's something, that I need to learn how to communicate about. So I loved it. Thank you, Harvey.
Yeah. And of course, the title of today's show is to get your phone ringing off your hook. So, in order to get that download or something like that, your call to action with your advertising would be to phone here or visit this site, phone this number, to which it could be your place of business, or it could be a number where they get played a coupon code or something, a recording, to which that they get access to an offer of yours, something along those lines. But it would be, the call to action would be to get your phone ringing through that type of advertising. And from there, you can then start gathering data, which is what we do best with our virtual reception business, is to be able to help you with that gathering of data, in talking to your callers, your prospects, or your clients, and helping them out. And then, of course, being able to provide a follow-up solution as well, which could be to follow up with missed inquiries, or actual customer service follow-up calls of already existing clients as well, which actually makes things a lot easier for you as well, and that sort of thing. So now, I said I was going to finish off on a bonus, and that is, if you are interested in getting the phone ringing more for your business, we've actually got an exciting offer that we can throw to you, and that's a speed lead challenge. What that's going to do is actually within 7 days get new leads coming into your business, and I'm not going to talk about the minutiae of that. That's for another time. But if you're interested in that, we partner with some of the best marketing agencies in the country, and we'd like to do that for our exclusive, for our private members as an exclusive bonus for you guys. All you need to do is put a comment down below saying Speed Lead Challenge, and I'll reach out to you with some more details. So grab hold of that, because that could be absolute gold for your business. I've no doubt it will be, and we'd love to bring that to you. So until then, Katie, I'm going to sign off now. I believe we've got a meeting pretty shortly, so we'll catch you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks, Harv.
And we'll see you then.
See you then. Thank you.